Okay, I want to watch a couple of videos with you and get your reaction to it. The first one is Robin DiAngelo. For anybody that doesn't know who Robin DiAngelo is, she is this crazy white woman who wrote a book called White Fragility. Probably heard of it. White Fragility was a massive best-selling book that essentially, like I said, was written by a white woman telling other white people that they are racist. She was kind of like the Ibram X. Kendi that came before Ibram X. Kendi. She makes tons and tons of money going around and lecturing white people about essentially critical race theory, telling them that they're inherently racist because of the color of their skin. This is her latest, though. This is her latest. She actually is arguing that black people should segregate themselves from white people. Take a look at this.
And then I'm a big believer in affinity space and affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. And I'll let that go and maybe see if anyone else wants to pick it up.
Jesse, didn't Scott Adams, who is the founder of the cartoon strip Dilbert, didn't he just basically lose his career for saying the exact same thing?
Well, no, he didn't say the exact same thing, because white people aren't the malcontents right now in this nation. And what communism really is, people think it's about workers and things like that. That's nothing to do with it. It's never been about that. Just let me go off here for a second, Liz. Communism is not about what they tell you it's about. That's why communism looked so different in China than it did in the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union, it was about the urban poor. And when the Soviets were trying to push it into China, when Mao was coming up, they were telling them, hey, focus on the urban poor, focus on the urban poor. And Mao and his boys said, you guys are idiots. We don't have malcontented urban poor here. Our urbans are fine. It's rural poor. So we have to focus on the hinterlands first. That's why it looked different in Cambodia than it did in China or the Soviet Union. Communism is simply the religion of the malcontent. You find the people who are malcontented and use their bitterness to tear a society apart and give you power. The communists came to America and tried the standard worker thing here back when the Soviets brought it all here, and it all fell on deaf ears because our workers have it great. So they thought, well, we need different malcontents. America has them. Every country has them. So who'd they find? Well, who are the malcontents today? You got the BLM race hustlers like that idiot there. You got the LGBTQ demon mob, the climate nutters, the feminists are always mad about something, so on and so forth. You found your malcontents. Now you recruit them like an army and use them to destroy the nation you hate. Right now, there's quite obviously a war on white people, but it's not really about race. Don't get me wrong, that's how it has manifested itself. White people are now systemically oppressed by this government. Joe Biden, first thing he did when he took office was tell white business owners to go to the back of the line for PPP loans. There's open anti-white racism all over the place, but that's not really the goal. The goal is simply to use these morons like that lady to try to divide up society so they can conquer it and burn it to ash. The race portion of it is just another finger on the same fist of communism that's taken a whole different form here.
And I think, too, I would add one thing to that. It's not just an identification of who's the pre-existing malcontents, but Marxism specifically, which is an offshoot, it is communism under a specific name. Marxism teaches that you should create. You should actually create. You should instill. You should brainwash. You should re-educate populations into believing that they are malcontents. And that's exactly what she's doing.